You're listening to a Destiny Park Media podcast.
And then, the moment of truth. Welcome to the Oculus Slide podcast. Thanks for joining us. We're back.
We're back.
Just when you thought you could go swimming in Oculus Slide waters, we returned.
We did. We have returned. And on an eventful day. Let's just say that. I'll say on an eventful day.
It's been a crazy day.
Yeah.
This is February 28th.
Yep.
Last day of some would call it the shortest month of the year.
Oh yeah. In the month of February.
Yes.
You know, I think this is exciting because we are actually at the end of something. The long road has completed.
The wizard. We're off to see the wizard.
We saw it.
The wonderful wizard of Son Goku.
Yeah, Son Goku and the Wizard of Children. No, I think
the
Wizard of Children. No, the Son Goku and Dragon Ball Daima has made its conclusion actually tonight or today, I guess.
Today?
Yeah,
last night in Japan, technically.
Yeah,
because of time zones.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, me and Mike saw it. We've been covering it for when did we start coverage on that? Was it last year, 2024?
I think this show, Oculus Slide Podcast, premiered in 2025. So,
yeah. But
we've been on top of Dragon Ball for years.
Yeah.
But for Daima, we've recorded so many episodes.
Yeah.
About Daima.
Yeah, we talked about the first half. I know we actually initially this started in the theater.
We saw they did a special promo screening for the first 3 episodes of the dub.
Yeah.
And so Jal and I bought tickets to that and recorded a pilot episode for Oculus Slide that didn't come out just because we weren't there yet. Now, of course, we're flawless.
Yeah, absolutely. No kinks in our chinks in our armor, I guess.
Clawless.
We're clawless now.
We're clawless. We're little cats that won't hurt any of your furniture.
Some samurai pizza cats.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I've seen there's a new video game for those things.
I saw that. I was like, what is with this? I mentioned that so randomly and out of nowhere. Some things happen where I say some random shit you'll even do this too. You'll say something and then all of a sudden out of the blue.
No, I do have a weird, I won't say a gift, I think it's just a coincidence every time. But when we were watching Mad Men, when I was watching Mad Men back in the day and there were new episodes coming out, sometimes I'd watch an episode off the DVD sets that morning and it would be perfectly correlated to that night's episode. A character would come back for the first time in years. Yeah. And it was right after the episode I watched that morning. And it was
it's what the hell?
And when a Mad Men episode started on TV, they would say last time on Mad Men, which was misleading. They'd show stuff from 2 seasons ago if that character was going to show up in that episode that night.
Yeah, they would try to link the storyline, which I actually respect, to be honest, from a storytelling perspective. So,
yeah, but I have delusions. I have delusions where, I feel in the ether, oh, man, I feel let's just say, I feel like Dream Theater is going to get back together with Mike Portnoy someday. I'm not sure when. And then, a few days later, they did. And it's just a coincidence. Probably.
It happens a lot.
Yeah. We only remember the things that we're right about in our half-brained theorems.
It seems to happen quite a bit. Here's another random. So I mentioned the Samurai Pizza Cats thing as I was talking about our background history and stuff that we watched when we were children. Mike's mentioned that. Then all of a sudden, a week ago, no, a few days ago, actually, maybe a week ago, they mentioned that they're coming out with the Samurai Pizza Cats video game. Very random. The series was not a giant series that they're bringing back something huge that people should be excited. Just randomly came out. And then I was digging through some of my old gaming stuff because I wanted to show my daughter the Wii for some reason, because I thought she might be into it because it had some fun stuff and easy to pick up and play. And I was like, I'm going to show you Guitar Hero. So we're playing Guitar Hero. And then literally a week after we were playing Guitar Hero, out of nowhere, articles come out saying, this video game company is releasing a new Wii Guitar Hero guitar third party I was like, what the Wii?
How convenient.
Yeah, I just started playing it again, and now you're telling me we have a new guitar. Nothing on the horizon where it's like this has been in the works. It's just like all of a sudden they just had an article saying, "Oh, we're releasing a new guitar for the Wii version, just that version." I was like, "Thanks, that's awesome."
They must have done focus testing to prove that it would be profitable, but
they must have. So
trust the corporations.
Trust the corporations. Trust the process.
I will say today is also a day. We'll get back to Dragon Ball, I promise.
Sure.
Jimmy, listening to this, is like, where's Goku?
Why are you guys talking about the monkey?
Today is a day where on social media they proposed that we not purchase anything today.
Right.
We're boycotting corporations, and I'm not trying to get political on here.
Yeah, some grassroots stuff.
I think that I obviously don't think that this one day of us not purchasing stuff from big corporations with credit cards will make a huge difference.
No.
But to me, it's it's better to get started and try something.
Yeah, practice.
And see how it goes.
Yeah.
And then use that as building blocks for the future.
Right.
I'm not saying that people want it to be perfect, but there's a certain attitude on the internet when there's any sort of movement where people who are maybe more knowledgeable about boycotts and strikes will go, this isn't a real movement. This is stupid. You guys don't even have, and it just makes, and there's elitism and gatekeeping in a really weird way.
Yeah. It's a weird version of gatekeeping.
And I'll own up to something. There was the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge.
Yeah,
do you remember that?
That's classic, yeah.
And I was so cynical. And
I said, why does this matter?
I didn't think that the cause was bad. I was like, why is dumping a bucket full of ice and water on your head, how does that correlate to ALS? This is so dumb, and you're doing peer pressure to get other people to do it. So dumb, that's dumb. And years later, that whole movement actually did incredible things for the research on ALS, and it helped out a lot of people.
For sure.
And it did accomplish something.
Yeah, it's the attention, it's the effort, and it's the reach.
Yeah, and it is keeping awareness on a subject. So this thing that we're doing today, it's a start, and it's going to get people talking. And even if it gets your conservative neighbor griping at you oh, you really didn't buy anything,
right, what does that matter?
But then they're going to start thinking and going well, I don't like a lot of the stuff going on in our government, if I'm being honest,
right? And
I'm not a cult member, but anyway,
right,
we're not getting political,
but yes,
I honestly believe that it's really healthy to not buy things sometimes.
It's a gesture. I think it's a good step in the, I don't know, the, not liberal, but the conscious collective to flex a little bit and try something really. Because I think what we fall victim to is a lot of what's the word? Apathy.
Yeah.
When it comes to what we can do and stuff like that. So starting small and building on those things, I think is great. I think the only thing that you should not worry about, but that you should be cautious of is, following blindly. Mm-hmm. Always kind of try to vet and see where things are coming from, what, the intentions of them. Where do you sit with it?
Yeah,
and then move accordingly. So
yeah,
that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, and I'm just a big fan of taking a second and thinking, do I need to go out and buy fast food or buy something from the mall?
Yeah,
is that something that would actually bring me any sort of joy?
Right.
And most of the time for me, it doesn't. And so I think it would be good for a lot of Americans to take see how long they can go without buying something new. There's people who do no spend months or no spend years where obviously they'll buy groceries and stuff that they need, but they don't buy
anything extra.
Yeah. New clothes or new movies or video games or whatever. And I could do it. I have enough books and videos and stuff at my home where I could go without buying stuff from them.
That's very interesting. It's a very interesting practice that could stem out of something as simple as, hey, don't do it this day.
Yeah. And
good thought. Good thought.
It's the thing is I don't think I bought a Blu-ray since I was in Los Angeles, which was like a year ago.
Yeah.
Anyway, fun stuff.
Yeah. We're in interesting times.
Back to Goku.
Being in America. Back to the monkey man.
Back to the little Goku. So, where we last left off with the show, you and I were, I think, at a low for the series, and honestly, a low for our podcasting career.
Yeah.
I took a mental health day from work, and I said we should do a podcast.
Yeah.
And we should talk about the most recent Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
And just
episode 18, I believe.
It was episode 18. It was where Son Goku was given an ass pull power up by Neva or Neva.
Yeah, Neva, yeah, sure.
But it may not have been from him after all. We found out today, which makes it even more confusing.
Well, actually, I forgot about that.
Makes it even more confusing.
Yeah, that is actually pretty.
It's very funny. But so I want to make sure I remember this.
Sure.
So I realized there's something that happens in my life where if I get too cocky or arrogant, sort of like Vegeta-san,
yes.
then the universe will usually smack me down really hard.
I understand.
And there was one episode of Dad Men where I was like laughing at you because I'm like, yeah, Netflix sucks. They're canceling all your shows.
That's true.
This isn't the tone it had in the episode.
Of course.
I would never actually laugh.
No, we were shitting on Netflix.
Yeah. And I was saying, this is why I only subscribe to one streaming service. HBO Max, my friend.
Fancy.
And it'll never get bad, I said. And then I think like a week later, Zaslav or whatever is like, hey, I'm going to just destroy productions and for like tax reasons. And I'm going to like remove long-running properties from here with no warning.
Yeah.
Like Close Enough, that was a great show on there. And the residuals are gone now for these voice actors and animators and people who worked so hard on it. And the producers, for God's sake.
Yeah.
But so I realized that I was very harsh on Sonic 3, and I said it was Sonic. I said it was a movie for babies. I don't take it back at all.
You weren't as harsh as. So our talks offline, I think, is actually more harsh than our talks online.
Well, anyway.
This is more funny. We're like really jabbing at it quite a bit, which is fun. It's fun to me, honestly.
But so I think it's funny that I did call it a movie for babies, and then I said, do I think it's Coco Melon? No, but it's a dumb family movie.
Yes.
And what I realized the other day was that Dragon Ball Daima, for a portion of its run, it really did become Dragon Ball for babies.
Yeah. Like I said, I was dumbfounded in the previous episode where I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
The show's for kids.
Yeah, but it feels like we got kind of catfished or something. But we can get into that as we discuss these last two episodes. Yes. But I thought that was funny. But episode 19 and 20, that marks a drastic turn from episode 18, which is it went from Son Goku and his little friends to Son Goku and his fellow adults.
Honey, I grew up.
Yep. So Jala and I talked about episode 19 before we recorded. We weren't able to record last week.
Yeah.
Someone had the sniffles. I won't say who. Wait, he's got it again. No.
Excuse me. Pardon me.
But that's an episode where... So we found out that Glorio was making a wish, and it was pretty obvious what it was going to be. It even ended with Child Dop or something, which in Namekian would be opposite of child.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So there was no real, like, cliffhanger, I guess. But it was like, is there any way that they don't do that somehow? And they didn't.
Yeah, maybe a curveball or something random. But
that's okay. You don't want to do a curveball that's just, like, pointless and stupid.
Right.
That would be... very modern Dragon Ball. But Goku and his friends grew up in that episode. And I'm going to go ahead and bury the lead.
Yeah.
I thought episode 19 was awesome. I thought it was so great.
Really good.
So we got to see, like, it explained a lot of stuff that I was wondering about. Like, Vegeta starts fighting King Goma. And it becomes clear, they were nerfed as kids. And it made the previous 18 episodes make a lot more sense. And I know that they should have been able to convey that better in those 18 episodes, but at least now there's some understanding of where things were in the previous 18 episodes. Yeah.
You have an example of before and after, basically.
Yeah, and Vegeta in base form as an adult is able to do just as good as SSJ4 Goku as a kid. So it's like, wow, they were really nerfed.
Yeah, just crazy.
It's crazy. This is a broken record, but the animation, the vibes, the dark... I love the first Demon World. It's very... like hellish.
I like that too.
Yeah, and it's got vibes.
Yeah, very atmospheric.
And just seeing them as adults, it like immediately made things feel more grounded and like
it was refreshing,
likable, and
it's really refreshing.
They remembered how to write Goku.
Yeah,
and Goku is hilarious and like awesome.
So was Vegeta.
Yeah, no, I love Vegeta, and of course let's get to it.
Yeah.
It has one of the funniest and best scenes in Dragon Ball history.
It's fantastic.
You can talk about it because I know it was very influential for you. You were going off about it.
No, so so Vegeta's fighting Goma in Super Saiyan 3 mode, and everyone's kind of waiting like, yo, is he gonna like let us help so we can like get this done?
Because he's starting to not like win anymore.
He's not winning anymore. He's gassing out. You know,
he's gone to base.
Yeah, he's gone to base. The rest of the crew is kind of worried about like what's their next move. Like, well, he's not going to stop. You know, until like, he's probably going to die trying. Like, which is interesting. I mean, him fighting Goma. I never really thought of him like dying to Goma, but you know, they mentioned it. So he's fighting there, and then Bulma's hearing them talk about it. This is Goku and Piccolo talking about like what Vegeta's doing, and Bulma kind of like stomps up.
Hands on hips.
Leave
it to me, she says.
Yes. And then just throws her womanness at him. She says, if you don't stop right now, let them help. There will be no more showering together.
No more bath time.
Yeah, again.
Yeah.
And he immediately... He turned, the whole way that was shot, the slow turn, like he heard the words, slow turn, looked at her, zoomed back, and was like, all right, go ahead, guys.
Fine, I'll let you help. Arms crossed. Yeah.
Sexy move by Bulma. I thought that was kind of hot. That was weird. I don't think I felt that way in watching the show. Maybe like, as a young kid, when I saw Bulma, I thought she was like cute or whatever, and she's had moments where like she looks good or whatever.
Yeah,
as you're a kid watching it, but that was like in a very like adult. I just liked it. I liked the energy of it. I liked his response to it.
Yeah,
I just thought it was like perfect to me. I was like, it answers like I don't know. It just answers some questions like about kind of like their love life a little bit in like a little sentence. You were like, oh, okay. They get to it. Shall we?
Yeah.
I mean, they have a kid, so they do, but it's never really spoken about in like, this is not the show for them to kind of speak in detail about those things, but to just throw a joke like that, it's a serious joke, but a joke like that out there in his response to it, it's brilliant.
For me, it was a masterclass in comedy animation because they did the slow zoom in on Vegeta's face and actually had like almost Namek Saga style dramatic
music
lighting.
In the back. Oh, lighting, sure.
Yeah, like the purple lighting on his face and the dark background. And the way it zoomed in slowly, and then when he flew back to the guys, it was incredibly smooth. Like, this is an episode with like amazing fluid animation the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
And it was even more fluid than that.
It
was like faster than instant transmission.
Yeah, it was pretty quick.
It was so good.
Amazing.
So I loved it. And honestly, for me, it actually made me see why Vegeta was there and why Bulma was there. And it made his story in Daima make more sense, which it's basically about him like proving himself after admitting Goku was number one and like fighting for not just pride in himself, but for protecting Bulma. The whole show, he's carrying Bulma and, making sure she's safe. And being cute. So I like Bulma and Vegeta in this. Yeah, they feed back into that relationship a little bit more. Just with that simple gag, I thought it was just great. So, I mean, kudos to the crew. Just like, I'm pretty sure that's Toriyama. That gag. That's gotta be. It's gotta be. The way it's so out of left field, and yet just like, he likes, well, rest in peace, but he seemed intent on like humanizing Vegeta in this series. Yes. So that's the thing. It ultimately makes him more of a person rather than in Super. A lot of the time, he was just this grouchy, only cared about fighting, unless like when his daughter was being born, then he cared about his daughter. But other than that, he just wants to surpass Goku. Sure. And in this show, he doesn't have a chip on his shoulder as much anymore. Like, no, he's trying to kind of find his place within the crew. Yeah, he's chill. Yeah. He's more chilled out in this show. Absolutely. And we didn't get to hear from him much during that Tamagami fight, but that's still one of his greatest moments in terms of like the show or the franchise treating him with respect. And he doesn't fumble, and he actually keeps his cool during that whole fight. Yeah, for sure. He doesn't start raging about losing. Anyway, so, but at the end of that episode, well... Oh... there's a lot that's going on. Even before that, the Glorio. I want to tell you something embarrassing. Yeah, go. When Goku says thanks, Glorio. Yep. Or he gives him a thumbs up and says, nice job, Glorio. And Glorio says, that's the first time you said my name right. And Goku goes, for some reason, you had a teardrop. Tears started coming to my eyes. Like, I was just like, oh, that's so great. He finally did. He said it. Yeah. And it's because when you see Goku, again, him going back to his full adult form, it's he's back. That's my friend. Yeah, that's the dude. Yeah, exactly. And it makes you wonder if I think they wrote Goku in such a way where you can think so many different things about. He says so few words. Like, usually he doesn't pontificate. No, he's not a pontificator. No, I think he may have been fucking with Glorio with the name. He totally was. Yeah, and so that's why he said his name right at the key moment. Yeah, nice job, Glorio. Yeah. But then at the 20th episode, he says Minister Gliro, so he still mispronounced it there. I kind of don't like that. Yeah, that was weird to go back to it. It would have been cool to just end it on him finally saying his name right. Right. But I like that they don't come out and have Goku say, "Yeah, I was just messing with you." Yeah, I think it's just he's just being goofy. He's a goofy guy. He knew that Glorio wasn't being authentic, so he's like, I'm going to poke the bear a bit. I like that, actually. That's how he doesn't care because Glorio is still, he can't fuck with him. Yeah. No, that's a really great point, stronger. Actually. He kind of maybe had the jump on kind of Glorio's whole... Yeah. And kind of let him rock, because I can stomp him out if I really need to, so... He's no true threat. He's no threat like... Bulma. like the truest threat of all. Yeah, if Bulma says Vegeta, go beat up Goku, he'll do it. He'll do it. And he says, who? Oh, Kakarot, right? I want you to kill him in front of... Anyway, sorry. So, this 19th episode was the first time I got spoiled. When it came out, it had a thumbnail that had adult Vegeta's face. So... I knew before hitting play that they were adults. Oh, sure. So, not a big deal, of course, but... Yeah, that happens. It happens. It's, I watched episodes 17 through 19 in a row. Oh, nice. And it does make that final battle... It makes those episodes much better to watch them all in a row. Just like with the first half of the series. Yeah, I can see that. But yeah, all the character interactions in that episode were like... I thought they were great. I loved seeing Goku and Piccolo being friends and working on a strategy together. Yeah. Majin Ku. Glorio. He's not Arensu's son. Okay. However, he is seemingly not just a lackey. Like, no. They had sort of a bond. There's something there. Yeah. and they seem to care about each other. And he did say, "Thank you for everything you've done for me." And they left it
like an understudy.
Yeah.
He has that energy.
She says, "I saved you from the third demon realm."
She did something for him. Yeah.
So I think that I'm counting that as like I was sort of close with my prediction. Yeah. Because I said, "Oh, she's probably his mom or something."
They have a very family bond.
Yeah, if I could go back, I'd tweak what I said a little bit so my prediction was more vague.
Yeah, that's right.
But Ku saying, "Don't worry, I'll stick with you," when Glorio ran away.
Oh, that's right. That's right, yeah.
Ku is like the funniest and most lovable character in this series. I
Came out of nowhere, man.
Yeah, but
weird.
He has such an indomitable spirit.
Mm-hmm.
He never gives up. He's always wanting to help.
He's the Goku of the demon realm.
He's the Goku. Well, that's why he's called Majin Ku.
Mm-hmm.
Just thought of that.
Majin
Goku. Yeah. See?
Yeah. Oh shit.
That could be it. I also liked that Goma said, "More pointless transformations."
That was fucking funny. That was a real inside joke. That was really funny.
Yeah. When Goku is like saying, listing off all his transformations for Goma, that's a reference to the Majin Buu saga when he's buying for time and he's facing off against Fat Buu.
Yes.
And he's showing Majin, and they've never done this in the series before, where he's like, "This is called Super Saiyan. This is called Super Saiyan 2.
I have to give that scene props because all those transformations and the way it was drawn and animated, I think is... I don't know, man. I've seen a lot of Dragon Ball in many different forms. It's, if not the best Goku has looked when transforming, it's got to be like top 3 easy.
Yeah.
It's just... that scene, when I can start the episode like right there, like if I want to see like some visual spectacle, like I started like where he's in front of Goma and he's transforming and like he's losing, he gets to Super Saiyan 3 and it's like this huge thing. Mm-hmm. Things are being blown away. Like I just love like the effects they do for his transformation. I don't think they've done effects like that in the older series, but not so dramatically. I think sometimes a lot of the effects are kind of sky and ground shake and stuff like that. But this is like wind and there's a lot of like force. You can feel a lot of force happening with that. And then the man drops the mic basically. Mm-hmm. So I got one bonus one.
One more bonus.
Yeah. He's like, what?
Nani? That actually got spoiled on my YouTube feed as well.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, but I was like, there was a fake spoiler also.
Oh, really?
Yeah. My YouTube, when I loaded it, it had that as a clip and it auto-played. And I'm like, oh, okay, Goku's Super Saiyan 3. And then the title of the video was Goku turns Super Saiyan 4 as an adult. And I was like, oh, is this a fan animation? Because like I couldn't tell. It was like 9:30 a.m. and I thought Daima came out later in the day.
Sure.
So that was the first time I forgot about that. But there was a fake spoiler that showed adult Goku eating a join bug. And so
what the
when I watched that episode, I was like, oh, okay, the join bug is going to happen any second now.
Psych.
Okay, but I guess they're saving it for the finale.
Yeah. So that whole scene, that the transformation of Super Saiyan 4 was that was an incredible transformation. He does the scream where like his voice cut, like it's so high pitch that like his voice cuts and like the screen goes like basically like flat, like flashbang white, like so dope. And then he emerges out of the rocks,
climbs up the boulder.
I love his like big forearm fist, like climbs out, and then like the angle they use for like his like
he's ripped.
Yeah, it's so dope.
Yeah,
I was like, this shit is so sick. That was the sickest.
This show made me a huge fan of Super Saiyan 3 because it just got so much cool screen time.
Yeah.
And it has the drawback of like you can't maintain it for very long. So this is the form when you're going to finish someone.
Yes.
And you know you can finish them.
Right.
But if you don't know you're going to finish them, then it's really dangerous to use.
Yeah.
So I like that. And I just how do you feel about adult Super Saiyan 4? Because we were mixed on Kid Super Saiyan 4.
I think I love the adult Super Saiyan 4. You know what? I have a negative, I guess, not for episode 19 per se, but as far as, I think, honestly, I don't think Super Saiyan 4 transformation in kid form was necessary. And I think you actually lose the... Imagine that scene we saw isolated without any Super Saiyan 4 at all in the show.
Yeah.
And like we say bonus, and me and you are like, what the fuck? Bonus, what the fuck?
It would have been pretty hype, yeah.
Yo, and then he goes into, and he comes out of the ride. It was already hype, but that that shit would have been crazy.
That would have 100%. You're right. That would have broken the internet.
Like that shit would have been insane
because it would have been like. So I didn't want Super Saiyan 4. We're on record as that, but like if that was how it was introduced, him saying one more bonus and then.
Out of nowhere? What are we talking about? No, one more bonus.
And
what are we talking about?
And we didn't have Neva activating it for him.
And we didn't have Neva activating because like that was a stupid way to like show it. Like
that could actually fix a lot of issues.
Yeah, like that would have been fucking sick.
God damn it!
Like it would have been crazy. People would have been like, "What? Like,
how does this fit into Super?
Or what the like?" People, you get that moment where like people clip themselves of watching like that scene. That would have been fire.
Damn.
It was fire already, but like imagining it without having a spoiler as a kid, because to do the kid version is cool, it's cute, but it's like, and it was dope to see. But if you were going to give it to us in adult form, why waste it? Yeah. Why waste the surprise?
Well, you can sell 2 action figures this way.
Exactly. Merchandise.
SSJ4 mini Goku.
I would actually love to get a little mini SSJ4 toy.
I liked Kid Goku as SSJ4, to be clear.
Yeah.
I did, and I thought that the monkey moves actually worked really well when he was a kid.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, they didn't really monkey him up all that much with the adult Goku.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Episode 19 for me is my favorite episode of Dragon Ball Daima.
It's so funny you say that. Because after watching that episode, I said, damn, is this better than 8? I was like, I think this might be better than 8. Am I being crazy to say this is better than 8? And I was like, no, I think it was. Because they did everything right in that episode. I don't think that the character interactions was perfect. The transformation was perfect.
Vegeta versus Goma is an awesome fight where Vegeta technically, like, he doesn't get the win, but he would have won.
Yeah, he styles out and he does his Vegeta moves and stuff like that.
We don't just care about transformations and them being adults. Like, the writing for everyone was much better in this episode than it has been in a long time.
Yeah, it bothers me because you show me that you can clearly write everybody correctly, but then you choose not to in other times. But this is the episode where like it all kind of came together. Where I'm like, okay, so this is the type of interaction from everyone that that makes so much sense.
I got one quibble.
Yeah, go with 19. Yeah, sure.
I got one quibble because obviously nothing in this show is going to be perfect.
Of course.
Or in most shows,
right?
Piccolo says, we may be back to our old selves, but we've kept all the damage we've taken.
I did hear that, yeah.
They all looked fine. Like, Goku before had his clothes torn. Mm-hmm. Vegeta had his armor torn to shreds. Piccolo had his weighted clothing off. And then when they became adults again, for some reason their, like, clothes were healed too.
Yeah, everything regenerated.
It didn't but magic, I can accept magic, whatever,
but
but they also said we still have all the damage we took, but Dende can heal. He's a healing Namekian.
Right.
He did that the whole Frieza arc.
Right, good point.
So, why not
there's no point to even...
Yeah. Why not take a second to have Dende heal them?
Right. There's no... Yeah.
They forgot.
Yeah, they forgot. And he stands there idly doing nothing. So it's like...
Well, he woke up to a little girl holding him, so he's kind of traumatized.
Heavy boy, yeah.
We've reached the finale.
We're here. We're at episode 20.
So...
wrap it up.
Going into this episode, I was fairly certain that my friend Piccolo would not.
You want to start here with Piccolo?
I do because I honestly was not disappointed. I had really realistic expectations. I said there's no way that Piccolo is going to be the one who actually knocks the third eye out of Goma's head. Like,
I'm naive.
I guess I'm a lifelong Piccolo fan, so I know that they don't have him do stuff like that.
I didn't want that to be true.
The community is pissed. The community is pissed as well, so you're not alone. But for me, I'm just like, why would you even expect that?
Yes, you're very realistic, I think, when it comes to... I'm like, why would they play him like that? Why do y'all feel the need to play Piccolo every time? Like, well, I wrote down in my notes, I was like, they don't like Piccolo.
Yeah.
Obviously not.
Piccolo says, Akira Toriyama doesn't care about Piccolo people.
Why does he hate me?
So, in defense of the story...
I understand.
I'm the biggest Piccolo fan there is, believe me.
Yes, believe me.
But this is actually true. I actually am.
I understand. It's true.
So, if Piccolo is the one who knocks out the third eye... Mm-hmm. What story is that telling? Like, does it serve any purpose in the narrative that Piccolo is the one who defeats Goma?
No,
not really.
It doesn't. You could still swerve.
It's only if you're a fan that you care about that stuff. Where you go, my character that I love got to knock the eye out, and then what? Then it's like, okay, he's done nothing narratively this whole time, so this is just for the fans. I guess?
Yeah, I mean, my thing is like, give him some utility.
Yeah.
I don't think, to be honest, him knocking it out of his eye, I feel like you could swerve that. Like, he could knock it out of his eye. Yeah, I guess you're right, because then it just becomes really messy. He knocks the thing out of his eye, and then what? It stumbles, and somehow Goma gets it back, and then he puts it back in his head.
Then it's like it did nothing anyway.
What's the point?
Yeah, then it's like, okay, so Piccolo got to knock it out for a second. So
sure.
My thing is like, we could think of a scenario where Piccolo helps out and saves the day. But
he doesn't even have to save the day. Let him just be useful.
So I
remove his usefulness if he can't. This is one simple.
This is like the Mad TV sketch lowered expectations, where my expectations for Piccolo are so low because they literally had the guy interrupt Goku in a fight and say, I would help you, but I'd just get in the way. You know, like,
yeah,
for me, like he was great in Daima. Like, he kept getting back up. He got back in there before Vegeta got back in there.
Yeah.
And he kept fighting the whole show. Like,
he did fight a lot.
He helped out a lot. I'm low expectations man here, but
no, it's good. It's good.
So also, I think that him like failing at knocking the third eye out caused Goma to freak out and send everyone flying, which put Do in a position to have the book because they're trying to figure out if there's another way to beat him.
That's right, because Aransu like mentions off to the side where I think there should be something else we can do.
If everything goes from point A to point Z perfectly without any hitches, that's not good storytelling.
I understand that, and that makes sense. And I think, for this episode, I want to talk about some positives.
Yeah.
Before I get into my negatives. And so I'll start with...
Well, sorry to interrupt. For anyone listening, if you haven't seen the episodes, Goku and Piccolo had sat on the sidelines for a bit watching Vegeta fight. That's why Bulma called him down.
Yeah.
And they heard from Aransu that the way to beat Goma is to knock him in the back of the head 3 times so that the evil eye comes out. And I actually love that because it continues the video game RPG motif from the beginning of the series till now.
It's very video game, yep.
But so that's why we're talking about Piccolo hitting Goma in the head 3 times.
Right.
And go ahead now. Sorry.
No, thank you for that backdrop because I think we didn't get to break down what was actually going on.
I feel so bad for the hypothetical listener going, wait, what?
What happened? No, I mean, I would assume... Yeah, I would assume you would watch the episode before breaking down this, I
have friends who do listen to us, even if they haven't seen Dragon Ball Daima.
Well, let's be clear about what's going on. I think that was great that you said that. So episode 18, 19 ends with, Goku kind of like posing. Episode 20 just starts with like them fighting.
Mm-hmm.
My positives for it is that it's animated super well. Goku looks amazing again as Super Saiyan, as SSJ4 or Super Saiyan 4. He's beating Goma's ass. It looks great. It's definitely a high tier fight from a visual standpoint for the show.
Yeah.
And I loved his Kamehameha beam in this. That beam shot's pretty. That's up there. That's a pretty crazy beam shot.
Yeah.
I don't know if Goku. You'd be hard pressed to find too many more instances of him shooting his beam that hard.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Masako Nozawa, Goku's voice actor in Japan, she went crazy, ape shit in these last 3 episodes.
Yo, Stephanie, I gotta hear. This is not even no diss. I'm curious to see like what Stephanie's performance vocally sounds like in instances such as those.
Yeah,
it's gonna be hard because she hasn't done it in a long time. So
and Sean Schemmel will come back for the
adult version. Of course he will.
So he's gonna
he's
have an aneurysm. People are genuinely worried about this guy.
Wait, why?
Well, there's stories about him transforming to Super Saiyan 4 in GT when he was screaming for that, where he actually passed out.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So.
Oh, shit.
He could genuinely. I
mean,
he's practiced. They know. Honestly, dude, the dub puts on so many vocal effects for screams.
Yeah, you would assume.
They add a ton of reverb. It's that's why I prefer the Japanese version, because there's less vocal effects. But,
I respect that.
And I do vocals for a living. No, I'm just kidding. Not for a living.
Well, I mean, it's definitely a passion.
Yeah. And so when you hear how many reverbs and echoes they add, it's like, come on, guys. And they didn't used to do it in the OG Funny dub, by the way.
Really?
Funimation dub.
Sure, okay.
No, you heard Chris Sabat or whatever.
You're right.
You heard him destroying his voice as Prince Vegeta. I'm going off.
No, you're actually true. Going back into my memory bank, it is just a long hold of scream.
Dude, the old Vegeta voice from like the Majin Buu arc in 2002 or whatever, he was destroying his voice, and it was so beautiful. I love the Funimation cast in the Buu saga. Ironically enough, I think that's when they were at their best as their characters.
Yeah, I could see that.
And in Kai, they're giving like a more mature and respectful performance for the actual like original story.
Sure.
But their voices start sounding kind of tired, like especially Chris. Like I think he realized that the Vegeta voice is not sustainable.
No, because his gravel is so tough, and he's doing like a few characters in that kind of low tone. Yeah,
he's doing half the cast.
Yo, by the way, props to you, buddy.
Yeah.
That's working.
Yeah, he takes less roles now. He's like, I
can't do this.
I gotta take a break, man.
My fucking voice is killing me.
But yeah, so go ahead.
Yeah, so the beam shot was amazing.
It was.
And then, yeah, I mean, well, I want to hear some of your positives that you have for this app.
So, yeah, I had a feeling they would do this because they did this in Super, too, like you mentioned. They realized they were running out of time, and there's just this, like, super, I don't want to say panicked vibe, but just this vibe where they're like, we got to wring out as much time as possible because we did not budget our time accordingly.
Sure.
So, I knew they would get rid of the opening and the, like, eye catchers and the, intro to give context. Like you said, it just starts out, and I was like, thank God. Yeah. Because we need every minute of this episode in order to try to resolve everything.
Yes, get to it.
So I thought the opening fight was really entertaining, flashy.
Very flashy.
I watched this episode the second time before I drove here, and I caught stuff that I didn't catch on the first viewing. Like, this is a fight you should watch again. Someone on YouTube was suggesting even watching slow-mo, because there's
probably be actually even cooler in slow-mo, be real.
Yeah. I will say that sometimes animation, in order to become really impressive, becomes so fast that the human eye can't really process it.
Yeah.
And I think the previous 3 episodes did a great job of making it easy to follow.
So you also felt that way. It was a little fast.
I honestly was less like... I think I'm really technically impressed by the fight in this first half of episode 20. I'm technically impressed.
Yeah, same.
But I'm not feeling like... There's two parts that get me hyped. There's one spot where Goku like does a weird like huff while he's like beating down on Goma.
That was
it was animalistic, and then his chest puffs out.
That was
unique. Unique for Dragon Ball. They don't usually show muscles. I should say unique for Dragon Ball nowadays.
Right.
They're not really into muscles.
No, they're not. Yeah, they're lean bodies now.
SSJ4 though. Monkey muscle boy.
Yeah.
So that part hyped me out, and then Goku, the Kamehameha was not really what hyped me. I'm really desensitized to that attack.
No, as am I.
But it was a quality one, don't get me wrong. But him shooting it through
that's what it was.
The demon world itself.
Yes.
It was really unique visually, and also it like told a story of like, oh shit, they are like...
Look at how connected this shit is, like...
And also that they are like freeing... They're
unlocking,
desegregating the demon world, and
very Goku, by the way,
very Goku, to just like do it through brute force, and it's like, oh shit, I hope nobody was there. I was worried that someone got killed by that.
Somebody got caught in the crosshairs, and I was so sick seeing the beam going through each realm, and it was each top the Tamagamis from the other two standing watching the beam, like almost like a salute, like a solid air. Yeah, that shit was sick. Like I said, I think that beam shot is definitely top 3.
I think what I like about it is it sells that Goku's trying his absolute hardest, and he knows that he and Piccolo have a plan.
Yes,
but he is trying to like just beat the shit out of this guy. And when I watched all these things in a row, I realized, we had questions about why are they fighting Goma. Number one, he's a king who's not fit to lead, so that's very fitting in our times.
Sure, absolutely.
But he also started the fight. He came out and started fighting them immediately because he found absolute power, and he said, "I'm going to fight you guys."
Yeah,
he started the fight. It wasn't like Goku and his friends did.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
And so it's watching it back. It's like, okay, so he's a jerk. He's treating everyone in the demon realm badly, and nobody likes him. And
he's like taking advantage of this ultimate power, I guess.
Yeah, and he was so scared of Goku and his friends that he turned them to kids. And then now he's like, I'm going to kill you guys. It's like, not only did you turn us to kids and kidnap our friend Dende, but then you're like starting a fight with us. It's like, dude, you deserve to get your ass kicked.
Yeah, so absolutely.
That helped me to, get level footing on this.
Sure.
But after the Kamehameha, Goma starts regenerating, and we've been here before with Dragon Ball, but
I have my qualms that I want to get into.
Oh, is that one of your qualms?
I have a lot of... Oh, sorry. I've already spoiled.
Leading the witness.
I have some qualms that I want to get into.
That's fair.
About the episode, but...
Well, I'll say that when I was watching that first 10 minutes, I was like, dude, are they going to let Piccolo get in there?
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like,
Goku, what are you doing?
I'm like, when are we going to get to the point where like you're going to distract him so he can hit?
Well, I thought when Goku was holding him,
that part was dope. But when he did a new thing where he monkey grab, I was like, oh, that's tight. And then like nothing happened with
that. Would have been so cool if you went,
go
now,
yeah, go, like, and then like they slow it down a little bit or something. Yeah. But no.
And so like, and if I'm Piccolo, I'm watching that and I'm so stressed out.
That's your move. You're like, oh, he grabbed him.
Yeah,
shoots.
But I'm so stressed out because they're going so fast, and
that's
I'm like,
true.
how am I supposed to? And why didn't Piccolo have his weighted clothing off already? Like. Yeah. He waits for the opening and then throws off his weighted clothing and then flies at him, and it's just so sloppy.
It's sloppy and overly dramatic for nothing.
But that's Piccolo for you. He likes to aura farm, as the kids say.
He does aura farm. I found that out recently as somebody was watching like some videos of him like aura farming, and like I was like, oh shit, I didn't even know he did that.
And as we discussed, he aura farms and then immediately gets his ass kicked. If there's no truer character to my existence than Piccolo,
I want to try to find, maybe we'll watch this after. There's a hilarious, I didn't even remember that Piccolo did this shit, but like, he did an unnecessary, like, Michael Jackson spin kick move. Like,
oh yeah, I can't believe I didn't send that to you. That popped up on my feed too.
That shit was amazing.
That was against Imperfect Cell.
Yeah, I was like, look at this motherfucker.
It's not practical at all.
No, it's just hilarious.
He flies out. Well, first Imperfect Cell punches at him. Piccolo dodges and goes and flies way ahead of him. Then flies backwards. And then spins. It's just like, this can't be even fun to do. Yeah. And yet it's just perfect.
That shit was funny as fuck. But
when I was a kid, that's why I loved Piccolo, because he got the best fights in Dragon Ball. Yeah. I always thought that.
And I really love his special, honestly. I love his special beam.
Makanko Sapo.
Yeah, that shit's hard. So
I honestly had hoped that he would do that to knock out the eye, and it would be like 1, 2, 3, like it would count as 3 hits as each ring.
Yeah, like hitting it.
Yeah.
You said, it's funny you said the 3 hits thing, and I immediately went to Tien with the tri-beam cannon just right over Goma's head. Bah,
sure. Yeah.
Bah,
yeah.
Bah.
That would have been cool.
Yeah, it's like, you don't need Tien though. That move makes sense. But last
week we did jokingly bring up Tien, being like, "You guys talking about me?" I can't remember why.
I have a scene for you, Tien. It's the last scene of the last episode. You come out of nowhere. Tri-beam, or not tri-beam, but you do your diamond shot. Anyway, I don't want to go into...
Tri-beam is the correct term for the dub.
Yes, tri-beam for the dub, exactly.
For the sub.
For the sub.
For the actual Japanese name.
Yes.
That would be...
So yeah, I think there's some good stuff in the episode.
All right, well, let's clock it here. Let's end the...
Let's stop it here. I hope you guys had a great episode.
Thank you, Toriyama-sensei.
Yeah, we appreciate the... I thought it was a great send-off. The episode's not perfect.
Damn it.
It's not. Sorry, guys. It's not perfect.
Nani!
No, not to say that it's supposed to be perfect, because Dragon Ball's not... They don't position themselves to do things perfectly, whether it be by their own doing or time constraints or whatever the case. So the fight... I'm going to say some things that people are probably going to push back on, but I have an issue with the Goma fight. Because in gaming terms, Goma basically turns into a bullet sponge, which is, you're pounding them. Bullet sponge in gaming terms is like you're shooting something, like you're wasting rounds on this thing and it's like not really reacting. Like you're shooting at it, trying to finish it off, and like it's taking forever, and like it doesn't look like you're really affecting. You're just taking in bullets until they finally end up dying. And I feel like the fight, the triumphant return of SSJ4 and Goku just being like, just looking the best he's looked in years. His fight with Goma, while entertaining, also felt very, I just feel like the dance between him and Goma isn't as fun because of the eye.
Yeah.
The eye really ruins a lot of the suspense and the fatigue in the fight from the enemy. Like, if you don't get those moments where, like, harken back to, like, the Frieza fight, where Frieza's getting, like, there's moments where Frieza's beating the shit out of Goku and he's really feeling it, but then there's a long stint of time where Goku's beating the shit out of Frieza and you really feel Frieza's getting his ass beat. Like, he's struggling to hold on.
There's a shot where Goku elbows Frieza in the head and you can see that Frieza is bleeding out of his nose and his mouth.
Yeah, it's just like he's getting messed up. Like
CTE.
Yeah, like you're really like, yo, the type of damage he's really incurring is crazy.
Yeah.
When you're watching the fight between Goku and Goma, it's just like somebody just punching a teddy bear, and like you're not getting a lot of feedback from it. Like he's getting messed up, he's getting beat up, and he gets points of where like he's really taking the hits. But then as soon as he's taking the hits, the eye just regenerates him. I think there's maybe 2 or 3 times where like Goma's like dead, basically.
Yeah.
Like he dies like a few times.
Vegeta kills him essentially in the previous episode when he does the final flash.
He kills him.
He goes up into the sky, and the show does a good job of signifying that Goma was just eradicated.
Yeah, he's like vaporized.
Yeah, but then you hear...
Yeah. So the eye is just doing this. The eye is a real... It's
hacks.
It's a what?
It's a hack.
It's a hack. It's really... I think it's stupid.
Yeah.
Point blank, I think the eye is fucking dumb. It makes the fight less fun because, like, it's just like some constant regenerative thing. It's not explained. We don't know. There's no limit to it, it seems like. Mm-hmm. It makes the transformations, like, look like almost pointless because, like, you've reached such a high height, yet I just regenerate. So, like, what's the point of you even getting to that far in power if it doesn't really mean much to me? Yeah, Goma dies, like, a few times during fighting these guys. Like, you can tell, like, he gets knocked out and, like, he regenerates back. It's like, so again, this show has an issue with removing tension when they really should be building it.
Yeah.
And they release it every time, like, it starts getting a little more tense. So I had an issue with, that's one issue I had with the fight, but obviously the positive out of that fight was the beam and blasting through him. Blasting through Goma, I thought that was sick. Do you have anything for that fight that you have as a negative as well that you want to touch on?
Well, for me, I guess I felt really tense just because it seemed like a really foolhardy thing to do because Goku was essentially powering Goma up. Like,
yeah, basically.
The thing is every time Goma gets hit by something stronger than he can currently handle,
yes, the
third eye powers him up even stronger.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really dangerous and risky to fight him even at Super Saiyan 4. And, like, to keep going harder and harder and harder.
He's pushing
and then
it.
Expect Piccolo to then be able to come in and hit him 3 times. Also, the big plot hole is, like, why, if Goku's moving so fast, why can't he hit him 3 times in the middle of the fight?
Yeah.
In the back of the head.
Yeah.
And you could say, oh, Goma would catch on after the first hit and swipe him away.
Sure.
But then how is Piccolo supposed to do it? Like, that's why I never thought Piccolo would do the 3 hits.
That's a good point. You were thinking really when the fight was going on.
Yeah.
Did this show...
Well, before the fight, I was thinking...
Oh, sure.
Yeah, it wasn't, like, during the episode.
Sure. Oh, yeah, you were already thinking, like, there's no way he's going to be able to
last night before bed, I'm like, gotta have reasonable expectations. Piccolo is not going to be the one to knock out that third eye. But I imagined it in my head.
Sure.
It was beautiful.
That's smart. I like that, though.
Here's the big plot hole for us Piccolo fans. Why would he not go giant like he did against... Oh, they already explained it.
What did they say?
In Superhero, Krillin goes, Piccolo, why don't you go giant like you did at the 24th martial arts tournament? And Piccolo says, oh, right, I forgot about that. The most forgettable character.
Hashtag, we don't like Piccolo. We don't know why we don't like Piccolo. We just don't like him.
No, that's a tribute from Toriyama because Toriyama, he always said, I forgot about that. Like,
that's funny.
People would remind him about, like, Lunch from Dragon Ball. Mm-hmm. Remember her? He forgot she exists. Launch is
Launch. Is she the sneezy girl?
Yeah. So he forgot she existed.
That's fair. She's like a really random, weird, like, offshoot character.
He forgot Super Saiyan 2 existed. There's a meme about Toriyama forgets everything.
That's cute.
So
it's cute of Toriyama.
When Piccolo says, "Oh, I forgot I could do that," that's like Toriyama saying that.
That's pretty funny, actually. Yeah. I won't lie, that's hilarious.
Yeah,
it would be sick if Piccolo was able to do that, though. But that is really funny. It is funny.
They should have had Piccolo face off against Goma. I mean, that's the thing. Why not have Piccolo?
Wrestling him,
and then Goku as Super Saiyan 4 comes up behind him, and that's what I was thinking was like, why not switch the roles?
Yeah,
and maybe have Goma get cocky as he's beating down Piccolo, or maybe Piccolo gets big and can fight, like, do a good job fighting him.
Yeah,
let's give him some shine.
Give him some.
And it's like,
utility.
Wow, I'm glad Piccolo's here because he can become giant.
Right, and he's useful.
Damn it.
He's useful.
And there's a story reason where it's like, what's his name? Neva could be like, defend the Namekian homeland.
Yeah, and it's his home. Like, he could maybe, something could
Piccolo
reacting to him that way. He's like, like he becomes more Namekian.
Well, I just wish that someone, whether it's Goku or Piccolo or someone, could say to Goma while like beating him in the face, "You're not fit to be king," or something.
Oh, sorry. Thank you for saying that, because what I was going to say is the show, it's not the best at adding story while fighting.
Yeah, it's not. They
it
have to stop.
That's what I miss from like old Dragon Ball. Like, Z does it a lot, maybe too much even.
Yeah.
Z does it a lot, but they really gave you the thought while they're fighting, like what's going on, the motivation. Like, for instance, the eyeball making Goma stronger, that could be said or told in a way where like Goku now understands and Goma understands that this is what's happening. Or Goma comes to the realization, he wakes up out of his, being dead or whatever, and says, this is, he would have some type of short speech that says...
To be clear, though, I think that got really tiresome in Dragon Ball Z. Like
It did, but it would work for a short spit this. You could fit those type of moments, especially in one episode, mind you.
Well, yeah, and I'm thinking of when, like, there would be, like, 5 minutes talking about...
Yes, no 5-minute dissertation. I want like a short blurb of acknowledgement of what's happening, because like you're showing it in visual, but you like what you're explaining is happening, but you're not getting the full you're not getting the full picture when it's not being acknowledged by either person. Like Goku's just punching him, and then Goma's just waking up. There's no acknowledgement of the eye giving him more power and Goku having to go further, but he's just doing it.
I will say one thing that they did that did connect Mini Goma to Big Goma is every time Goku decked him in the face, they spent so much effort making the funniest, most cartoonish getting punched in the face
animation.
And it was beautiful.
Yeah,
and that tied into like, because I love Mini Goma. People are very hard on Goma right now, but Mini Goma, I thought he was hilarious. He was given some incredible voice acting and was really likable as a villain for my take. I thought he became less likable when he became Jiren.
Thank you, Mr. Jiren. I think the character is likable as just a character. I don't think he necessarily needed to be the final villain or the big bad.
Well,
I mean, who else can you give it to but besides him? But
I've had this alternate version of Daima in my head since watching the finale, which is like, why didn't they have Goma come out before the third eye was found? Like, and try to fight the guys as his self, so that we would know.
As the little cutie.
Yeah, and so that because they used to say Goma's dangerous.
And interesting. So we'd at least, in what way?
We'd at least see, okay, he's pretty strong even for a little guy, and he's got some tricks. Shit, they didn't work. And then at the end of the episode, he sees that Hybus has the third eye.
Yeah, and then he somehow gets it.
And that, but that's a different show, I guess. But.
Yeah, it's a different show. It's more in the line of like the older stuff that they've created. I just never felt threatened by Goma, so I just never. I never thought to think like, maybe he has some skills or something.
I felt decently threatened by him after the 19th episode, where Vegeta and him went toe to toe, and Vegeta is starting to get worn down, and but I think that the issue is like when they saw that Vegeta, all he did was make him stronger. Why did they then say, okay, Goku's going to fight him and get him even more strong? It's just not. It's not smart. It's just such a bad strategy.
It is a really
so
bad
that's why I had a hard time staying focused during the first half of this episode. But it was fun, and I was just waiting to see how they would resolve everything.
Right.
And so, what do you have any other complaints?
Yeah, we've kind of talked about that. I talked about some of them. I wrote down that I was mad because they made Piccolo fail.
Yeah.
Majin Ku gets to be the hero. Question mark, OMG. I roll. This is actually not a huge deal. I think these are notes in the moment.
Yeah.
I kind of was like, what the fuck?
And the show knows you're going to be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's done on purpose.
Because when Majin Ku Glorio and Pansy are celebrating, and Majin Ku comes down and he's like, hey, why can't I be the one to win, or something like that? Like, because he's not getting a warm welcome by them at first. They're kind of awkward.
Yeah, that was a weird... I think that whole part of leading to, obviously, the eye getting knocked out of Goma's head, and then Glorio just stepping on it and just kind of it disappearing. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting choice to, like, kind of end it all, just be like, stomp.
Yeah. And then it disappears magically.
Just disintegrates. I was like, okay.
All right, well, it's gone.
Yeah, but exactly. That's the energy. It's gone.
That's cool. And then everyone's just staring at it, and then Glorio's like, I guess I'll just stomp on it.
Right, that's it, I guess.
Yeah. They couldn't even let Piccolo or Vegeta destroy it.
Just Glorio.
Well, listen, it's Glorio's story more than it's Piccolo or Vegeta's.
Yeah, those guys are there just for fun.
I know you said this was your reaction of the moment, but I really like Ku.
Yeah, you're a big Ku fan. I actually, Ku is very endearing.
And I think it creates a whole arc for the whole season, or at least since he was born, where throughout this series, he is not appreciated by Aransu.
Yeah.
He's not appreciated, and he doesn't win against the Tamagami, and he even doesn't get credit for good stuff he does.
Yeah, like, because the Aransu's looking, it's all about power. It's like, well, you're not strong enough.
Yeah.
So you're just like, you were a trial, didn't really work.
Yeah.
We got Majin Buu here, and he's stronger than you, so you can just follow along with me, but we don't really need you.
She doesn't show him much warmth.
Yeah. But, we realize he's smart because he does the riddle.
Yep. He helps Do win the riddle.
Yep, which was great. And
that's foreshadowing to the end.
Yeah, absolutely, actually. Absolutely. So it's like, the character is fun. No, that was my reaction because I just thought, I was still upset that Piccolo wasn't able to do it, and I was like, they give it to Majin Ku. Anyway, so that's...
But if it wasn't for Piccolo, Ku wouldn't have, because Ku would never have gotten there through brawn.
That's true.
It was luck. Everything had to go that way in order for it to happen.
Yes, the way they played it was pretty cool. So how about you? As far as when we get to that point, is there? I think at this point the crew is kind of, they're basically they're there to lock up they're there to lock up Goma.
Yeah. I was so glad to see Mini Goma again. And I was also glad that they didn't kill him off, because like that
he's not.
I don't think he's done anything to deserve being killed.
No.
So it would have been really strange
That's
to
the other
show. And the show having Goku like Kamehameha and
just actually killed him.
Whoa! It's like, whoa, wait a second, guys. We just killed that guy for pretty much no reason.
I mean, he fought us. I was just defending myself.
Yeah, Piccolo's, he drew first blood.
He drew first blood.
Yeah, but, so I'm glad that we got to see Mini Goma again. And it's funny, his old personality came back immediately.
Yeah.
But, there are these little dogs with big bites that if they did get power, they would
turn
become
into
bullies.
Like that.
Yeah. It was funny to see Degasu come back, and that they were basically put in a Mafuba-like state where they were put inside this thing, which, like, honestly didn't seem that bad. Like,
no, they're kind of just hanging out in like a bottle.
Yeah, it's like a bachelor pad where they have a video game system and they're playing video games at the end. But no, honestly, I really, this may be controversial, but I really did like the second half of the episode. And, I think it felt like a finale, not just for the last few episodes, but for like the story that was being told in the first half of the series as well.
Yeah, I think after the fight, what the vibe I just got was very, like Hollywood ending.
Yeah,
it was Hollywood ending. What did you think? What did you think about the Goku and Vegeta arguing about transformations? I thought that was an interesting thing to slip in there.
So,
and they said your thing. They said your thing you didn't want to hear, and they said it, which was they said Super Saiyan 4. We've been saying Super Saiyan 4 as we've been recording, but Mike obviously in the past was hoping that this was going to be like a new form that they would say.
So they dropped a bomb. This was a big twist in the episode. I was not expecting this twist, and because the story did everything in its power to convince me the form was achieved a different way.
Yes, this is the thing. It's confusing.
It's very confusing. The writing on this show has been, yes. has been, Goku and Vegeta are arguing, and Vegeta says, "You hid that form from me," which is like, he got mad that Goku hid Super Saiyan 3 from him in the Buu saga.
Right.
So he's mad about Super Saiyan 4, and I'm like sitting back on the couch going, here's where he says, well, I can't access it anymore. I guess Neva got it out of me, but now it seems to be inaccessible or some shit.
Right, like I won't be able to do it on Earth, blah,
they
blah.
were still in the demon realm when they were having the discussion.
Yes,
so whatever.
Exactly.
But I'm like, there's going to be some explanation, or like Neva's going to pop up and say, well, actually, that was a gift from me, but now in the regular world, you can't do it.
You won't be able to utilize it.
And I'm not saying that would have been good, but it would have been normal Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Goku says, well, I was training after I fought Buu, and I didn't know if it was going to work, but I did it. And so, like, the dialogue is insanely vague, where it's like, so did Goku have a concept of a plan? And he like,
I have a form of hiding.
Yeah, and that is something that he's done before. Like, he's said, I wasn't sure if that would work about, like, Kaioken times 10. Mm-hmm. He was working on this and workshopping it, and like the power boost from Neva got him to access the form.
Sure.
So it's not like he knew how to do Super Saiyan 4 before going there, I guess.
Right, but he had been training to get to a point where he could access something new, I guess.
Goku and his friends do like image train, and like there's probably a lot of meditating on stuff, and like, this is what I can do, whatever.
Yeah.
But it was actually, how we were like poking at the show going, I can't believe they gave Goku a SSJ4 by Neva unlocking it. This is worse because it's confusing, convoluted. The show literally created this beautiful transformation sequence where it was like Goku's DNA was being accessed by some magic.
Yeah.
So it's just bizarre.
Now it's just, I trained to get there.
I trained, and I was kind of already there, but then we became kiddos, and
I just got
Jaku-John.
Yeah, thank you. Jaku-John.
Jaku-John, etc. But I did love Vegeta when Goku said, well, you got Super Saiyan 3. Vegeta said it's a Super Saiyan bargain sale, which is a callback to something from... This is a great, like, 40th anniversary fun time movie. Like, there's all sorts of references.
It is that.
All sorts of fun references that don't make me cringe at all. Mm-hmm. But Vegeta says that form was Ultra Vegeta 1 rather than Super Saiyan 3.
Yes.
And then I love when Goku goes, oh, come on, what's that? Like, and he's laughing at him. That's cute.
Yeah.
So I thought the ending was cute. And I honestly...
That's a good way to describe it.
I really liked it, to be honest. Like... I liked the episode as a whole. I thought it was really fun.
Yeah, I think it was a solid episode. Overall, I think I didn't come out of the episode hating it. I just had issues with the way,
100%, man.
The way that they execute certain things in the show and just in that episode, because we 19 was such a they nailed it.
Yeah.
And then we get 20, and it's like we jump kind of back to some of the weird holes and things like that.
Yeah.
And I've been hearing some of the talk about the show, and people saying like, like Dragon Ball's never like been like super clear like about things. And I'm like, yeah, you're right, but this is such a condensed thing that like I feel like you can keep things tight because it's only 20 episodes. Yeah. You don't have to pin yourself into these weird like walls where you can't escape from. Like it's tight enough where you can you should be able to plot yourself through the whole thing.
I sympathize with the production behind this show because from what we've heard about the types of notes that Toriyama gave while he was alive, it was usually not super helpful. Like, and what I mean by that is like not very descriptive. It's like
wasn't detailed.
This thing happens, then this thing happens, then this thing happens, but it doesn't tell you how you get there.
Right.
And so they have to figure out like how they get there. And it seems like this show, the production, we talked about this last week, that the production started before the story was done.
Right.
So it's almost like Toriyama saw a storyboard for one episode and went, I don't like how you guys did that. I actually want it to be this way. So then the next episode, they have to course correct from the previous episode, mind you.
Right.
This is all hearsay. I don't have any proof for any of this stuff.
Sure.
But it's clear that something happened in the production of this show that went wrong in the writing. And, whoever the writer was of this show, I didn't memorize their name, but they had worked on like Digimon and stuff, like
interesting
stuff that like isn't exactly. I have dense Shakespearean tragedy. But I really just I wish they had multiple writers on this thing.
Yeah,
it was written by the same person for all 20 episodes. I believe.
That's so tough, man.
Yeah.
I feel like that's so tough.
Yeah, it's so tough. And if they're like battling via notes with Toriyama, and by battling I mean mostly just getting pummeled by the original creator.
Sure,
it must have been a tough show to work on to try to get a story finished. When my theory, so we haven't talked about the big final fuck you from Toriyama to his fans.
Talking about the end credits?
The join bugs I'm talking about.
Oh, sure.
Which were teased on episode 4.
Yo, you were so hyped from the bugs,
I was excited. I'm like, okay, cool. It could be a new fusion. This is going to be fun.
That's sick.
Now, if the story's not there, fusion isn't that cool.
No, it doesn't really.
And I have to believe that they were going to do some sort of fusion thing and then change their minds and said, let's just do Super Saiyan 4.
People want Super Saiyan 4. They want a fucking join bug.
Yeah, but if it's if it's just a troll, it's so funny.
It's a hilarious troll. I mean,
because he knows that the fusion stuff is like fun for the fans.
Yeah.
And so to bring it up in episode 4 and have us go, oh wow,
the fusion's coming.
They keep having Goku bring up the bugs. Like he tells Vegeta, "Do you want a healing bug?" Like everyone talks about the bugs every other episode.
Yeah, and he's got a backpack or like a bag.
And there's the dramatic shot of
them falling.
I'm like, oh shit,
the bugs.
Where are the bugs? And to have that, so there was a moment early on in our coverage of Daima where you said, I've seen a lot of shows have cool concepts like the join bugs and have them not like come to light. And I was like, nah, man, they're going to do it.
They got to do it.
Don't do me like that, man.
They got to do it.
Don't break my bug, man.
I think I was coming around to the fact where I was like, they're going to sidestep this, I think.
Yeah. But you made that prediction very early on where I'm like, wow, that's pretty negative. But
yeah, it seems weird, right?
Turns out, yeah, it is weird. But so, and watching this episode, I'm like, okay, all right, join bugs. They're not going to do it, but maybe there will be a gag where at the end, 2 people accidentally fuse, or there will be a comedic reason why they would need to fuse.
Yeah.
So it's very funny.
Or we even, we had some cool ideas for the show where like the Majins were going to join, and then Goku but they end up not really being like a rival in that way.
Yeah,
but yes,
this is like a first draft. The final scene of the show, it's so weird because like it's beautifully animated.
Yo, you saw that, right?
Yeah, no, it's like cinematic.
I was like, what the hell?
Extremely tastefully done, like almost like it was from a theatrical movie that wasn't even Dragon Ball. Like it had a slice of life flavor to it.
Somebody said it looked like Ghibli, like Studio Ghibli.
No, it was so good.
Yeah.
And it was like, God, I wish Dragon Ball could do a whole season of something like this. And like there wouldn't be a need for super intense action with animation that beautiful.
No, it's that's a very specific.
It's just a cool vibe.
It looks good.
It looked so good. So, but I also did not like what was going on in the scene. So, but I have to give it props for the looks. But so
we could talk a little bit about what
Goku
scene was.
And his friends visit the same shop where they got the join bugs and the Senzu bugs.
The joins,
the join bugs, and Bulma she picks up a bug and says, it's a bug.
It's disgusting.
Really weird because she's heard them talk about bugs the whole time, so why is she shocked that
I think she didn't know that they moved, which is so weird.
Yeah, I didn't know they moved either.
Because they look like gems.
Yeah.
And they moved, I guess, and she's like, oh shit.
The legs moved. Yeah, but she does scream bug. So it's like, yeah, you're at the bug store.
Yeah. You're at the bug store.
She's at the bug store and said, bugs. But anyway.
Another hint that this show is for children. But anyway.
So, and Pansy finds a jar that's covered in dust, and we get the reveal that I think this is funny. You're shaking your head, but
the big eye roll. No pun intended. Yeah,
that
may have been a joke.
There's a jar full of evil eyes. Third evil eye.
Yeah,
and this shop has the most overpowered hack items in anime history, and nobody goes to it. Shit. Nobody goes to it.
So funny though. That's really funny.
Yeah. No, I think that's a good joke to end the series on, and I like the end where it had a little kid Goku and a little tiny Goma, and it's like, okay, this is Looney Tunes.
It's
a Looney Tunes thing.
Saturday morning cartoons, like you mentioned.
Yeah. But so the weird thing is for me, like, I felt the Dragon Ball for Babies stuff mostly during that mid-stretch we talked about. Sure. 13 through, maybe 11 through 17.
Yeah.
Where things got really, episodic and not really
connected to really anything.
Yeah. But so, why don't we talk about our final thoughts on this series? We're both Dragon Ball fans.
Yeah.
I love Dragon Ball, as you can see.
Boom, got the shirt.
And I just I think last week was just such a reminder of how much I love these characters, and when they're at their best, they make me feel better about my circumstances, as crazy as that sounds.
No, I get it. It's a connection.
It's a stock. It's like your favorite football team or whatever if they're doing well in the season.
Right.
But I love the show a lot, and I wanted to to be able to say this show is fucking awesome.
And like you said, going in this wasn't, a lot of Dragon Ball fans going in, this is not exactly what we were looking for, especially coming off of Super.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and there's stuff I love about the show still to this day, and I think I'm still going to get it on Blu-ray if it comes out.
I think it's too beautiful to ignore.
I think overall, I really do still like the show. I
view it favorably as well.
Yeah, I'm glad we can agree on that. I think that the writing is, of course, the biggest problem with it. It seems like it was a victim of timing once again, just like Super was, but in a different way.
Very differently.
Yeah, because they had enough time to work on the animation, but they didn't. Yeah,
they put their foot in the animation, man. They really were they're shitting on us. Yeah, Super. And then we're gonna go crazy with this new joint. We're gonna go crazy, and they went crazy.
They did. They powered up just like Goku and his friends would.
Yeah,
and I would say, I don't know if I could rank everything right now because this just came out, but
rank as far as the eps, or rank it amongst the series.
I was gonna say amongst. Whether I prefer this to Dragon Ball Super, or
I was going to ask you where
it would rank amongst the movies that have come out.
Sure.
So I guess the elephant in the room is that Goku mentions that he got Super Saiyan 4 on his own, and it's pretty clear to me that this is a separate timeline. This is not connected to Super at all. It just doesn't.
I have been kind of hearing some whispers.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But the thing about Dragon Ball is you can't really get worried about canon anymore. There's a separate canon for manga now, and for anime now, and for the movies. And I think Toriyama, I think Toriyama doesn't care about that. Rest in peace. He never did. And I think this show is his way of going I hope they stop worrying about this stuff.
Yeah, just watch the show.
Just watch the show for children.
Thank you.
And not worry so much. So for me, Daima is like those old Dragon Ball Z movies that came out they did 2 per year in the 90s. Mm-hmm. They were not canon. They were different timelines. Mm-hmm. And they were fun. Some of them were really fun and genuinely a joy to watch, even if the villain was a villain of the week. So,
sure.
In that lens, I really enjoy Daima. I'd say I prefer it to the Super anime, most of the arcs in the Super anime.
Yeah.
I really do.
It's so tough because I kind of want to put it in front of Super too.
And we'll see how it ages, but...
Yeah, but I don't know why, like, I'm hesitant.
For me, for modern Dragon Ball, it goes like this. This is just my list for today. Mm-hmm. For me, number 1 is Superhero. That's like at an 8.5.
Oh, Superhero the movie.
Yep. And then Broly, number 2. Mm-hmm.
Oh, so you think you actually enjoy Super? Oh, well, it's Piccolo.
So yeah, I'm biased to the goat.
Mm-hmm. Yes, the goat,
the green of all time,
Mr. Aura,
Mr. Aura Farmer. Yeah, but dude, for me, that movie was a dream come true. Like
I respect it,
and it's like my inner child is like my favorite guy is the main character of the movie, and he's acting like a boss and getting stuff done.
Yeah,
and even in the finale, they don't embarrass him. Like he's holding on to Cell Max, and he's contributing in a big way to the finishing moves.
Yeah, his form was great.
Yeah, Orange Piccolo, I loved. I was kind of hoping they could sneak Orange Piccolo in here somehow, like Neva gives him a temporary boost, and he's orange for a bit, and nobody sees.
I've been training in the background.
I actually got this in the background.
When nobody was paying attention.
Nobody cares. Vegeta and Goku don't even care.
Like, we're fighting right now.
Weren't you always orange?
Right. You've always been orange, haven't you?
I'm big green. But so those movies for me are still number 1. Then this number 3 at like I'd give Broly like a 7.5, and then I'd give this I'm gonna say a 7. I'm gonna say a 7 because those first eps we watched, and I'm saying first eps including like up to 8. Mm-hmm. The promise was there for it to be just like a 9, like an A show, A-.
Yeah, it was really feeling A-ish.
Yeah,
it really was.
And I was like thinking this was gonna be the perfect follow up to the Majin Buu arc, and
yeah, the way they had that layup there was like, yo, they could really tight. Because like I said early on, my whole thing was like, yo, I was kind of geeked about the 20 episode thing because I was like, yo, it can be super tight and concise.
And they had the whole story planned.
Yeah, it's like everything's planned out. The visuals is on top. All they got to do, like, it's 20 episodes. You can just you can cut all the fat and just get right to it. And they still found a way to not get to it.
We live in the world we live in.
Yes. So I'm with you. I think I do want to put it in front of Super, because this Goku is more like my Goku than Super is.
Yeah.
If I'm really honest, this is all coming off the top of my head, but I think that's why.
Yeah.
I think this Goku made me like when I first saw the first couple episodes, and I was excited about seeing him as a kid because it reminded me of when he was a kid back then, and it felt like Goku to me, and I was like, yo, this is my guy, blah, blah, blah. So I think I do put Daima in front of it. And I prefer a shorter series anyway.
Yeah, me too.
Super is really bloated.
And there's all sorts of out of character weirdness in Super.
Yeah, the characters is funky. It's interesting. So
there's stuff in the Super series I really do like, but I don't believe I've watched. I think I've watched 2 full episodes from that again. And I've watched pretty much every episode from Daima again, like for fun.
Nice,
yeah,
which is really nice. And I think, to me, honestly, I would have to rewatch.
One more thing.
Yeah,
sorry, I don't own any of the Super TV show on Blu-ray either. I never felt the need to buy anything from it. Like I will say the series finale for Super is a 10 out of 10. And it's better than, I think. Probably better than even episode 19 of Daima. It's a really
I'd have to rewatch it.
You should, because it's a perfect episode of Dragon Ball, and that's why people want Super to come back. I think because that last episode was so good.
Yeah, I'll have to rewatch that. I think Daima though. I think is the best. I would need to rewatch Broly.
Yeah.
But I think Daima might be the best Dragon Ball's ever looked.
Yeah.
I just think it is. There's a lot of talk that people don't, there's another side to where people don't like the way Daima looks because they think it looks like fan art. And I disagree with that. I understand kind of what they're seeing and then pointing to it being fan art, but I don't associate like that look with fan made content. I just don't. Those two things don't merge to me. Like the way that it's colored and look, I don't equate that to fan art. I just equate that to like an artist doing it a certain brightness in a certain way, and that's what they want it to look like.
Yeah.
I just think that the great thing about it is that not only does it have color and things like that, but it also has a lot of lines and thin lines, and it's not all thick lined, and it's detail. It has more detail. It's punchy.
I like the backgrounds a lot. The
backgrounds look good.
Digital backgrounds.
Backgrounds look good. I just think, obviously, the flow of animation is probably the best. It's definitely close to the best that I've seen.
It's the first Dragon Ball series where every episode looks great.
Yeah, like you don't come away with, oh, that was not... Like, I never... During the whole show watching, I never said, that didn't look good. I never thought that. Never did. So, they give me 20 episodes of just kind of solid heat so from a visual standpoint. So, yeah, I put it in front of Super. I think it's the best looking Dragon Ball's ever been. I mean, even look at when they beautified the Buu Saga. That shit looked amazing. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is just the best looking... It's the best looking. So, there's that. It doesn't leap for me. The series obviously doesn't leapfrog Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z.
No, and nothing they make from this point on will do that. Like, I guess I shouldn't say nothing, but the only thing they could do.
They could have done it too, I think, which is so funny. Like, because they were so condensed to 20, like they could have actually made it better than.
I think just maybe Toriyama didn't have the eye of the tiger. I don't think.
Sure,
you know,
he wanted to have fun. Honestly.
He wanted to have fun, and as you can tell from like the gags on display here, I think it's just too bad that they didn't like. There must have been some tight time frame to have the story finished by this date.
Sure.
And why are they rushing an old man, you know?
No need to rush it.
Yeah.
Let him have fun. I think he did accomplish some fun in it. I think obviously a younger audience may even find it even more fun than an old man like me.
Yeah.
Cuz it wasn't tuned for my head or my you know, the things that I ingest nowadays as far as anime media is concerned.
Sure. But I mean, I think that I have a more positive attitude about the series than a lot of fans because I am watching other anime. Like, I'm not saying those fans aren't watching a lot of anime either. But like, I'm ingesting a lot of different genres right now. Rom-com, boxing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, boxing. I got back on the Ippo train.
Oh, cool, cool. I watched episode 4, so it took me months, but I've watched the 4th episode. He was shadow boxing.
Yeah, gotta love a good shadow box.
Well, I guess I got carried away with the shadow here. My friend Waylon has started referencing that Ippo got carried away. Oh, I don't know why that scene stuck with me so much.
He's a fun little
defending
kid.
Boxing to the chicks.
He's a fun little kid.
Yeah, I would love to get that on Blu-ray just to watch the Japanese version because I'm getting kind of tired of the dub.
Oh yeah, is this not accessible? It's all done
on Crunchyroll. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I wonder if Netflix
or Netflix.
Yeah. Okay, so there's not on either. Yeah,
they got carried away with the licensing rights.
Yeah,
they said, "Well, we'll just do English."
Yeah. No, that's fair. The dub is I can't say that. The dub is decent. But you can tell it's a very old. Well, it's not old. It feels old, but it's not as old as it feels dub wise.
Yeah. Well, it was like almost 20 years ago.
Yeah, if you really put in that context.
It's 2025 and it was from 2000 something.
If you really bring me down to reality.
Sorry, man. I didn't know we're old.
I mean, it's 10 years ago, bro. What are you talking about?
All right, listen, you idiot. Takamura just came in here. Hey, listen, you idiot. All right.
Takamura, yeah.
Almost 20 years ago, you idiot.
You idiot?
Punch. Our new thing is that whenever Takamura brought up, he says, "You idiot."
You idiot.
He punches you right in the head and kicks me in the throat.
Yeah, your numbskulls grabs their heads.
Oh, damn it, the violence. Stop it, Takamura-san. So I have a final question for you. I think it's a really interesting final question.
Yeah, sure.
That we can end off on.
Sure.
So now we have two timelines going on with Dragon Ball.
Mm-hmm.
The thing about Dragon Ball is you can always add in something that'll retcon and try to make things make sense.
Sure.
So they'll probably try to make this make sense with Super, but let's say that they don't.
Mm-hmm.
And let's say we have two timelines.
Yeah.
By the way, I would say I probably prefer Daima slightly, but it's around where I would place Battle of Gods, which is where Beerus first appeared. I thought that was a great start for modern Dragon Ball.
Yeah, I thought that was a good start.
Yeah, so it's both solid, but I might prefer Daima.
I think it's still better.
Yeah, but it's early days, right?
Yeah.
And Revenge of Frieza is where Dragon Ball went wrong for a while.
I think it's a step up, actually, from the two things.
I see. All right, man. Well, listen, you idiot.
Listen, you
Frieza, you idiot. Oh, man.
You chucklehead.
So, would you rather, if Dragon Ball continues, because this is the last animated Dragon Ball we're going to get for a long time, it looks like.
Yeah. We are at a low.
Would you rather they continue with Super or bring Daima back? Because right now, Super, there's a cliffhanger in the manga, but it's kind of like bringing back a character we've already seen be a villain before, and a lot of Super is about using old, like, remember this, member berries, and creating hype based on what's already happened.
Sure.
And Daima, there's just a little. I know that it's built on a template of GT.
Sure.
But for me, I feel so much more freshness with Daima than Super.
So Daima is more fresh than Super is, but for me, I need more tension than Daima delivers.
Yeah.
And so, unfortunately, I need more danger than Daima delivers, and I know I definitely get that from Super.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'd rather have the animation of Daima. I do love the character portrayals in Daima way better, but you're asking me to pick one of them, and I think we've gotten so far with where Super is, and everybody's, Goku being, Ultra Instinct is a really interesting form.
I do love that form.
And I want to see, and I actually want to see I want to see Vegeta reach his high of heights, which would happen in a Super continuation, versus going backwards in time when Vegeta is kind of trying to find what he's still in that. He's not really struggling because he's a strong fighter, but he's still in a position back then where he's still not sure. Goku's still number one, and he doesn't see a route to. I don't think he, in his heart of hearts, sees a route to getting past Goku right now.
Yeah.
And so he kind of just fights with anger and force. And I want to in Super's continuation. Vegeta's going to get past that thinking, and I want to see that.
Okay.
And I'm old. So.
You've turned me around on it a bit because
I'm an old man.
The arcs after the Tournament of Power which is where the anime left off.
Mm-hmm.
I actually own all of the Moro arc on physical manga. So
they've been selling it.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that shows how much I like that arc. That it's
very people really big up the Moro arc, and
it's reminiscent of like the Cell arc, and it is referencing Z and stuff. But it's pretty cool. There's some cool stuff in there with magic, and a lot of people were hoping that Daima would end with a teaser referencing Moro, and then like saying, "Hey, this is going to tie into Super. Get ready for Super to come back."
I don't know why. Why is it? There's such a big. Why people really want Daima to like tie Super together, and I'm like, why?
So sad.
Why do you guys need that to connect? I don't really need the connection.
There was a toxic attitude in the fan base that canon equals good. So this had Toriyama involvement heavily, and so people were like, okay, Toriyama involvement, that means it's canon,
right? And we can lock in on that.
And GT, people don't like GT, and it just happens to not be canon.
Right.
And it happens to not have had much Toriyama involvement.
Right, so they can discard it.
Yeah, but they're trying to have an argument when people don't like Daima, which is, it's canon, sorry. Toriyama was heavily involved, so that makes it canon. But, like, it is, it's very hard to imagine it being canon.
You're right.
Yeah. So anyway.
In the way that people are thinking of it.
But also, it's just a cartoon for kids that was made to celebrate 40 years of cartoons for kids. And there's a Mystery Science Theater 3000 has the opening theme song where it says, if you're wondering how they breathe in space or other science facts, please remember this is just a show. I should really just relax or something like that.
That's cute.
Yeah. And it's the attitude you need to have when watching Dragon Ball. Because when we were watching it as kids, we didn't have the cynical voice in our brains asking us,
how does this connect?
How does this work? How does this connect to Doregen Boru?
What is the motivation?
Yeah. So...
yeah, that's an adult thing.
Yeah, but I would be happy either way if it continued from Daima or Super. But if they do continue from Super, I would like them to take the lessons that they learned from this show,
right?
Which includes how to write the characters. And
that too.
Like, I don't want to hear Goku saying to Vegeta, "Why are you sitting on a rock? You're going to get rusty. What are you?" And then Vegeta says, "I'm meditating." He goes, "Meditating? How's that going to make you get stronger?" And even
completely forgetting all his training from when he was a kid.
That's part of why I like am prepared to lose Super, because like I hate Super Goku, and he's an idiot, and this is Super is what gave me my dream of Piccolo being strong. So that shows how much I care about good writing.
Sure, absolutely.
Anyway, whatever happens next, it's been an honor, sir, to watch this show with you.
Same,
and to provide incredible hard-hitting coverage. Not as hard-hitting as Goku.
No, never as hard-hitting.
Oh, yes.
Never as hard-hitting.
The Great Goma.
The Great Goma. That's something he would say in, like, third person. The Great Goma.
The Great... Maybe... Yeah, I feel like if the dub has him acting like that, that could be really good.
That would be awesome.
If they start doing certain references, I won't say who I'm referencing when I say the Great Goma.
The Great Goma.
The Great Goma.
He would sound amazing with that tone of voice, yeah.
We gotta send a letter to Crunchyroll.
Can we do him in a more of a...
sort of a current events.
Yeah, Mr. T type of way.
And then they misread that and go, "I pity the fool."
Like, not that Mr. T.
No, wrong Mr. T.
Yeah, wrong Mr. T. Anyway.
Thanks for listening. If you're still here. Hello, is anyone out there?
Anyone out there?
Let me test this audio device. Hello.
No, I appreciate everybody kind of coming along the ride with Dragon Ball Daima. We've enjoyed covering it.
We love Goku. Love Vegeta.
Yeah, we
Piccolo.
love the whole fam. Bulma. And I have to give a shout out to the new fam.
Yeah.
The Demon World fam.
Yes.
They've been fantastic, and that's been it's been a positive. I've really enjoyed the characters that they introduced.
Yeah. I think that could be why people wanted to connect. It's not just about like it being quote good, but,
right?
We like these characters. We like Pansy. We like Glorio. Ku and Do. Like,
they're fun.
I would be happy if it was announced like there was a super arc where they were going to go back to the demon realm.
Oh, that would be sick. Yeah, like a little interstitial.
Where it's like the new villain destroyed the castle that Ku is ruling from.
Sure.
Barely escaped. I don't know.
It'd be fun.
But anyway, the thing that I love about the show, or I loved about the show, is that there were certain times where it got my imagination racing after the credits rolled. Like, what's going to happen next? What's going to happen next?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely accomplished that.
I like having stuff to look forward to.
Yeah.
And I'll miss this show. I talked about it last week. I really was proud that I was able to bring it home last week, where I told you, like, it's the last thing that Toriyama worked on. It's going to be the last thing we get for Dragon Ball for a long time, probably. And
yeah, you can feel him in the art.
Yeah.
Whether the story is here or there is of no consequence. I think
we'll miss him.
Yeah, you can feel it, which was great. It was great to get that last little touch.
They'll probably find little scribbled notes and say, this is another Toriyama story, but he was passionate about this and he was heavily involved in it.
Sure.
It's not going to be the same, and that's okay.
Yeah. They can move.
Things can change. I remember when Jim Henson passed away, people were so critical of Steve Whitmire, who was the replacement for Kermit the Frog's voice.
Oh, sure.
And he didn't sound right at first, but he was the Kermit that people grew up with for many generations. And now he's been replaced, and the new guy, I did not like how the new guy sounded at all, but I'm sure he's probably like become a better Kermit. And there's evolutions. There's certain characters that will outlive their authors.
Yeah,
and Son Goku and his fellow adults, I think they're going to carry on. And the thing that makes things bittersweet for me is imagining that after I die, there's going to be more Godzilla movies or more Dragon Ball stuff that I won't be able to see.
Yeah, that's the weird part. And
I'm hoping these franchises just tank right before I die, and
it's like
never
this complete piece of shit. Nobody loves it.
And then the studios announced, we will never put out another Godzilla movie, and I'm in my hospital bed and I'm like, yes,
just laughing. Just maniacally laughing. Why is this so
ending
funny?
the episode on a dark tone. Thanks for listening. You can check us out on Instagram, Snapchat. Just kidding, we're not on there. And
your favorite podcast streamer.
Make sure to leave a review. Leave a 5-star review if you can help it.
Yeah.
6-star if you can
force it.
You can sort of hack into the system.
Yeah, there you go.
We'll be back next week with a discussion about music in 2025. We're going to be in the first quarter of 2025, and we're just going to talk about the Grammys and some records we've been spinning. And Jala, I think he has a little bit of a dissection he wants to do.
Ooh, indeed.
On a live animal.
My favorite artist. Oh, ooh. For the cameras.
Because we are filming. Although one camera died. But
yes, indeed.
We'll get the Dragon Balls for it.
There you go.
All right. Check you later, folks. Until then,
let's slide on out.
There you go.